ati utapatia Raul 10 million akipata hii job ya AUC chair.
Yes.
I want you to expound on that. Are you telling us that Raila could actually miss out on this job opportunity?
Ama unamuongezea
ndio run the affairs of Africa.
Ama akiingia 10 billion una 10 million unampiga briefcase yake at least ambebe tungo toka ndoko ujadi sababu na red gold and green.
I will put it in two ways. Number one, Raila Odinga is one man I respect. He's one of my political fathers.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier.
He was my party leader. I really respect him. Na labda si zawadi ya kwanza amepewa kutoka kwa Mbogo. Kwa hivyo pia msione tu ati mimi sipendi Raila. I love Raila, and let me tell you, the biggest love and the biggest loyalty towards someone you adore or a father figure or even your parents is telling them the truth. That's the best way you can show love.
Truth shall set everyone free.
Let me tell you, your best friend, a friend is someone who can tell you the truth on your face without shaking. And also a friend is someone who can share the little they have with you.
Oh, hapo sana.
Umenielewa? The reason why I say that is because most of the people who surround Raila Odinga are not his true friends. Ini kitu nimeiona. I was inside the kitchen cabinet ya ODM. I was a NEC member. And I used to feel it and I used to say it. And that is one of the things that made me leave ODM. Because there was no genuine loyalty. There's no genuine loyalty. Let me tell you, your best friend or the most loyal person is only someone who can tell you the truth. Akwambie maze, hapa mbele kuna shimo.
Kitakuramba.
So kama unaingia kwa hiyo shimo, daddy,
uko one man.
Ruka lakini beba kamba kwa mfuko. Ndio ukiingia ndani utavuta kamba ujivute nje. Even that is the best thing they can tell you.
Ama unaweza rusha kamba nje tukuvurute.
But what I've seen with Raila Odinga, most of the people around him, they celebrate when he's going into that hole. And the worst thing is, all his confidence. And let me tell you, Raila's confidence are not these other people you see. Unaona wale wajaka wa mzee wale wanakuaga kando yake kutoka 20-30 years. Those people are genuine to Raila. But when the cake is being baked, you'll not see them near the fire. Wanakuaga wamewekwa huko, hata wako kwa dining. Hawangoje yaki chakula kwa dining, wako nje. Yani ile tabaki ndio. Umeona mali games ukua. So there are people who come to Raila, especially when the cake is being baked. Now ndo take charge. Lakini wale watu wamemove na Raila for long, hawakuagi. That is the reality. That is the reality. And even on this AU issue, no one is telling Raila the truth. You know, the reason why I say that, me, I speak factually. I don't hate on anybody. And one thing, I'm one of the people in this country you can ask anybody. I don't even discuss people. I've never discussed any Kenyan because I've never met any threat here. It's true. Yeah. And I don't hate on anyone. And I don't meddle into anyone's affair or kitu wanafanya ama nini. Never. I want good for everyone, my friend. If I'm okay and you're okay and he's okay and all of us are okay, the country will move forward. Why should I just want me alone to be okay? And you and the others crumple into abject poverty, ama they go into problems. At the end of the day, it will affect me just by the fact that I'm a Kenyan. Unaelewa? So you look at this issue. History teaches us how to shape the way forward. You remember back then in 2017, 2018, we had Amina Mohamed.
Yeah.
She was a Kenyan. Amina Mohamed wanted to vie for the AUC chair.
Yeah.
Akashindwa na yule Faki.
Yeah.
Now, do you know the people that voted, the first people on the front row to vote against Amina Mohamed? It is the same East African countries. Djibouti, Tanzania, Uganda, Burundi,
Rwanda,
Eritrea. Do you know what one of the former ambassador of South Sudan to Ethiopia, he was called something Morgan, Peter Morgan or something, Morgan said, Kenya could not even convince its neighbors and its partners. A country like Burundi stated clearly, we could not support Kenya because Kenya is one country that likes interfering with the affairs of other countries. Uganda said the reason was Kenya, we have an unsatisfied thirst for everything. Yani sisi ndo utaka kila kitu.
Sisi ndio America.
Hao ndo maneiba tuna expect sahi atu to support.
Basi nadhani
But I said it last time. They have a reason and they have grounds to say that. We as a country misbehave. I mentioned before, I said, look at the friction we have with our neighbors today. You know, me since I was born, I've never seen this kind of friction where we are not in good terms with Tanzania, with Uganda, with Sudan, with Congo, with even Rwanda, it's lukewarm, with Somali. You get it? So how do you expect? I saw people celebrating the other day and saying, oh, now Raila is going to get it because they've agreed the leader will come from East Africa. Now he will come from East Africa. But what is East Africa?
But don't you think, Steve?
What and who is East Africa?
Don't you think vile ujo baba ni baba?
Yes.
Baba ni
yes.
Na ni baba wa East Africa.
Yes.
Don't you think inaweza kupatia a mileage kwa historia kienda juu, okay, this time wajatuma mtu wa government like vile tuko tumetuma Amina, yeye alikuwa kwa government ambayo majirani wetu wana feel so mingle sana na tuna medal na mabiashara za watu huko. Raila on the other hand ni a statement. Waafrika wengi won't
and he fits for that
job. Nigeria vile alikuwa mena last time uko Nigeria wanamshangilia.
Yes.
I want ni kama inaweza play a big part saiju amepata na Kagame kivi yake bila government ya Kenya. Ni mimi Kagame, ni mimi baba Raila.
Yes, naomba
kujiongelelea mimi.
Naomba.
I want ni kama inaweza play, inaweza badilisha the scale.
I'll put it in two ways. The first way, it's the group narrative. I'll give you an example. Kenya hii, ukiona mrembo mahali, I like giving examples so that people can resonate.
Yeah.
Ukiona mrembo, kitu ya kwanza wa Kenya ulizana nini meet dem mrembo ama nini? Amuliza wewe kabla gani? Akisema Mkikuyu, unaona mtu ana back out.
Besha.
Aangalie the individual, anaangalia the group narrative, how we perceive these people. How we perceive these people. Raila can be pure. Anaweza kuwa anasema mweupe kama pamba. Lakini mahali ametoka inamkata.
So the way we relate with other countries, our foreign policy inaenda kuharibia Raila, because if you look at even vile Prezo ana operate, mara he's aligned to the West, mara he claims he's a Pan-African, mara he aligns to the East.
Is
that what could be Raila's detriment to get in this thing?
Of course. And one thing you have to understand is that the entire Africa today is divided. And divided, and the larger Africa, I'll tell you, the larger Africa has moved to the East. Pro-Russia, pro-China. Look at the Russia summit 2023.
Yeah, ilikuwa na Africa wote
43. Actually, they're about 49. But 43 countries specifically are they've signed contracts. They are working with Russia and China and India. Let's say the BRICS nations as a whole. Let me tell you, go to Tanzania here. Go to Uganda. Do you know those guys now are trading with, they're doing currency exchanges. Like Tanzania is buying products from India using rupees. They are doing exchange of currency with China, with Russia. What does that mean? They've chosen their path. In the entire East Africa, it is only Kenya alone that did not go. In fact, Ruto was very specific and he said the AU will represent Kenya. But he did not go. Why?
He actually went.
We have chosen the West way.
To remain where we are.
To remain where we are. And the West is fully in control of Kenya. Let us not lie to one another. So let me ask you, my brother, do you think all those African countries will vote for someone who comes from a country that is fully controlled by the West?
That's a good question.
Remember, the China and the Russians also want a foot in AUC.
Exactly.
Ini siasa, bro. Si harusi. They want their person to implement their agenda, their idea. BRICS nations have a global idea. They're also building their own system,
of course,
with their own currency, with their own modalities, with their own system of governance. And we are seeing Africa moving towards that side. I think they're finding them friendly, or I don't know what is happening.
On a Pan-African Tuesday.
Yes.
Sivo, nikikuuliza, on your take. Yes. I like vile wanga vibrant. Na your way of kuangalia mambo kwa umbali.
Yes.
Me on my side, I'm like, Yeah, tunatoka tu kwa ingine colonialism ingine tunaingia tena kwa ingine. What does it make it so hard for African to understand that hizi wars zote including kuna bonga na best yangu hapa Voke naambia unajua ta world war ilikuwa ni vita ya kupigania mali ya Afrika.
Of course.
They were fighting for African resources.
Scramble for resources.
They scramble for Africa. Yes. What's different? Nini ni ya tualana hadi sahi badala tuanze kurealize hata tutaki Russia, tutaki China, tunataka sisi kwanza wa Afrika.
But
tushikane sisi wenyewe kwa tuache kusema sisi wa Afrika tumeachana na Amerika, tumechukua sasa Russia na China. Is the same.
Yes.
Nini natufanya vosti so far honorable atuoni hiyo picha nini natuzuia?
It's because we are dealing with a smart person. The whites are smart. What the whites will do is they'll always ensure before you wake up they've put their puppet there. Yes, anawawai kabla ashaeka mtu wake. You know, these people understood the only way to control these countries. You don't need to talk to Kenyans and give them theories. Just put your president.
But you know, speaking of putting the president, before you to bonge na Kenya hapa hivi na chiki calls ni mob 0719012700. Would you consider Raila's candidature here AUC chair a personal ambition ama what's in it for Kenya at this point of his career? Like kuna watu wanasema he's better off staying here. Hiyo kazi ya kwenda kufanya sijui nini ya kufungua mashule nini wozi and there. You know, Raila, Kenya has a lot to benefit with Raila right now.
Yes.
So why would he make that decision to go and run? Is it something personal for him, do you think? What's the deal for Kenya? How does Kenya benefit?
You see, the other day I said the only problem we have in Kenya is what we call political conmanships. And it is the same monkeys in the same forest. It's the same players. What they do is they change the jersey. Each season anava Arsenal, next season anava Man U, hiyo ingine anava Liverpool, but it's the same people. And all of them have a price. All of them have a what?
Price.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Why would I go clean the estate while I've not cleaned my house? Start with your house, then go clean the estate. Change begins with you. Hapa.
Unajua tukianza hii conversation ulisema the biggest problem, especially ODM, ni the people around Raila.
Set true.
Now, should Raila be thinking, should he sit back and say, akiangalia hivi umebonga, I'm sure he's probably listening to you, ama atambiwa. You know, should he do an audit aseme, Africa might not vote for me, and so maybe let me just pull out before I embarrass myself. Now, the reason I'm asking that is because, and it's also like a question, if Raila at all akose kupata hii job, will it be the final nail in his coffin in the sense that hata kujiridima hapa mtaani itakuwa hard? Watu watasema this losing cast.
I will tell you the truth in my own perspective. Raila has given up on Kenya.
Wow.
That's what I feel, and that's what I see.
Wow.
That's what I feel, and that's what I see. And coming from that point of view, we also have to understand Raila. The other day when Raila said mtutoke muandamane, it is you Kenyans who said wanavunja mabiashara yenu. My friend, there's also enough that someone can give you. Yes. That mzee is 85 years old. Wachana naye apumzike bwana.
If he's a smart guy, should he be considering to pull out of this race?
If I was to advise Raila, I would have told him to pull out yesterday, hata si leo. Achane na hiyo vitu. He better even stays here. Apatie watu kama sisi opportunity aone vile tutafanya mambo. I'm telling you the truth. This thing, they are going to waste his entire 1 year with campaigns. And I'm telling you, chances are very high. 9 out of 10, Raila is going to lose this.
What's up in his image lose sasa? How does that reflect on him?
But that is the same thing they played him with the BBI agenda. I was asking people. At that time I was still a NEC member in ODM. Let me ask you, when the BBI agenda was being fronted and started, did you see all those Raila strongmen around him?
Nah.
Uliona Orengo mahali? Uliona Gladys Wanga mahali? Uliona Otendo Omolo mahali? Wakati Orengo na Otendo Omolo walijaribu kuleta mswada kwa bunge kuuliza hii mambo ya mbona tuongeze hizi constituency kwa BBI Mount Kenya mingi na Nyanza tuongeze, next day wakapigwa mawe, wakanyang'anywa positions kwa committee. Kwa nini mnapinga uhuru? But they were saying the truth. Those are the people who love Raila. Nani walikuwa wanasimamia BBI? Ati Kibicho na Matiang'i.
Ona sasa.
Au ni nani?
And I used to ask them, na mtu anaitwa Maina Kamanda, I used to ask them, my friends, what is this thing we are being bundled to do? Budget hatuelewi, programs hao ndo wanapanga. Sisi ODM
kuongea.
There is no sweet party like ODM. I left ODM, but I'll tell you, if you want to feel political vibrancy, bro, kuchangamka ile yani, let me tell you, nilitoka tu ODM sababu singekaa ndanganye Raila Odinga. And I don't lie to myself, by the way. I'm guided by 2 laws under the supreme law of the land. I don't enter a game I don't understand, and I don't enter a game I cannot come out of it anytime.
It's a fool ambaye anachezanga na rules zile zimesetiwa na enemy.
Umenielewa?
Hold it right there, Mhesh.
So the same script.
Yeah.
Vile aliwestiwa 2-3 years
ndio tu inarudi.
Let me ask you a simple
Briefly,
question.
Mesh, briefly.
Who prepared the BBI report? The Attorney General. Office ya Attorney General imejaa lawyers. Chuma. Paka ule usavchai ni lawyer. Ni kama police nini kwa ofisi ya Inspector General wa police. Ule usavchai ni polisi. Yes. Do you want to tell me they would have made such a useless mistake that is the law is clear?
That's a good
It was done by design.
Clear people, Mesh. 0719012700.
Nasema ukweli sana.
Hey, guys, that is Honorable Steve Mbogo. When you listen to Mhesh, you just know you're in for a ride. 071 0719012700.